Hey everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic back again for the second time in just a few hours because we did say that we were going to get the beers in for Monday Night Raw because it was in the UK tonight, it was in Manchester, and look, we actually did get the beers in. Budweiser was not Sam's choice. He's very disappointed in my basicness, but we did speculate whether Paige was going to make her return to WWE, and instead we saw a massive debut from one of the biggest wrestlers in the UK today, probably the biggest after the events of tonight. That debut was from none other than Pete Dunne, who was announced by none other than Kurt Angle. This is huge news for not just the UK wrestling scene, but the global wrestling scene as a whole. Pete Dunne has, of course, wrestled for WWE before. He was, I'd say, the star attraction of the UK Championship tournament at the start of the year. Obviously, Tyler Bate won the tournament, but if you watched it closely, you could tell pretty much that WWE were very, very focused on getting Pete Dunne over as the biggest star in that division from the get-go. He didn't win, he came second to Tyler Bate, and then of course was that massive kind of heel backstage, running around hitting his opponents before their matches, getting into spats with William Regal, and even sharing a little nod with Triple H as well. And on Raw, Enzo Amore took to the ring, he ran down Kalisto, who he will be facing at Survivor Series. Kurt Angle came to the ring and said, look, we came to ringside, and said, look, you're not going to be facing Kalisto tonight, you're going to be facing this man instead, and introduced Pete Dunne, who won the match, which is huge. It was a non-title match, I must stress. He's not the new Cruiserweight champion as well as the UK champion. He's just got a massive victory over Enzo Amore on television. I mean, that's news enough in itself. And not only that, but it was then announced that on 205 Live this week, many members of the UK division will be appearing on that show as well. I just also want to bring up a tweet sent out by Glenn Joseph, one of the co-owners of Progress, where Pete Dunne was champion over the past few months, and he said, I'm going to miss this guy, he's super talented, all that kind of stuff, which does imply that this is going to be more of a long-term, regular thing for Pete Dunne. Maybe he'll be moving out of the UK entirely and just focusing on his WWE career. But that wasn't the only surprise on Monday Night Raw. The main event was a tag team championship match between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, two of the three members of The Shield. Of course, Roman Reigns is still out and we wish him well in a speedy recovery. But they were facing Sheamus and Cesaro the Bar, who came out in full Liverpool kit. For those of you unfamiliar with the UK, we take football very, very seriously indeed, and Liverpool are not the most popular team in Manchester. In a result that surprised many, especially this close to a major pay-per-view, Ambrose and Rollins actually lost the titles, but it wasn't clean. There was a major distraction from the crowd where New Day came out saying this is Under Siege Part 2, SmackDown are invading again. In response, Kurt Angle came out with, I think, all of the Raw locker room. They all stood on the stage, and in all the confusion and distraction, Cesaro and Sheamus were able to pick up a dirty, dirty heel victory. Oh, dirty. So all in all, a big night on Raw, one that ensures that a lot of people will not only be tuning into SmackDown, but also 205 Live, a show that's been struggling recently, it's no secret, but now maybe it'll get a renewed surge of interest now that we know that a lot of fresh faces are going to be coming over from the UK division as well. I've been Jack from Cultaholic. Follow me on Twitter @JackTheJobber, and don't forget to check out our Patreon, where you can become a patron and donate to us if you so wish. We'd really, really appreciate that. But for now, there's not much more to say, and do remember, of course, to join us. Thanks for watching.